thank you to you guys' votes in the Discord. We'll be watching the RPG created by one man that is embarrassing top developers by MuuRain.
In a gaming landscape littered with high-budget blockbusters and AAA titles of varying levels of overall quality, the amounts of cash it takes to produce today's top titles have reached the hundreds of millions of dollars, and even then, tragically, more and more, still leading to a product that limps into the limelight. But all the way back in 2006, near enough down the road from where I live, a man would sit down with the mind to achieve the seemingly impossible, to develop a game single-handedly that would, as its development progressed, go on to become one of the most highly praised RPG experiences.
Wow, he made the game from scratch and it's 3D. How long did it take? Last time I read about Black Myth Wukong. Did anyone play that game? It took about approximately 6 years. 6 years and more. And that is now. Imagine trying to do everything from scratch in the old days. Not really too old, but it's in the 2000s. The technology that time is still advancing.
Ever made, shoving aside Goliath studios and publishers to sit at a review score that remains even till this day as literally overwhelmingly positive. But how exactly did
Yeah, and I went to Steam too. This game is actually on sale, okay? And the positive review still stays.
Developer Chris Hunt pull off this mind-blowing feat? What exactly makes up this rough-looking game to make it so unbelievably beloved to its thousands of active players? Well, today, my friends, we set out to find out, diving straight into its sandbox world, gearing up supplies for our adventure across the desert.
Oh, it's only sandbox?
And uncovering the magic that defied all odds. My name's MuuRain, and this is Kenshi.
Kenshi! As in like Swordmaster? The sword wielder?
First booting up the game and setting up, Kenshi offers players a number of options of how they want their sandbox adventures to begin, with each being geared for difficulty or a particular playstyle. With examples such as heading out with some startup capital to become a trader, finding a dog that you haven't figured out whether it is a companion or dinner, or being exiled from your tribe and being left alone to fend for yourself. But today's tale has a far darker beginning, as out of the gate we will be enslaved. A hard difficulty start with a rather ominous hint, and with
there's a lot of different options. I kind of like this kinds of games, but I don't have time to play it, so yeah. It kind of reminds me of Project Zomboid. I played it for a while. I did not survive a lot. I died a lot.
That we are sent to the character creation, which for a solo title has quite a lot of options to customize your hero, with base choices impacting initial stats and experience gains. And as we'll see a little later in the video, much more than that. But we need a hero for this adventure, so must of course call upon Arthur. Now I know what regulars of the channel may be thinking, but I finally decided to go with a completely serious character choice this time, as this is serious business. So this is Dear Arthur, and his sidekick Skibidi, a duo that are the best of friends, but have clearly fallen on hard times, as our adventure begins. Right away we find out that hint was not kidding around, with both Arthur and Skibidi having to dart straight to a nearby cage to subdue the guards, with poor Skib not quite making it, and getting beaten to the ground before being placed in his bindings. Skibidi vowing to get his revenge on a particular jeering guard that may or may not have called him a nightmare fuel hat stand, as we are taunted by our captors, the Holy Legion, spouting their religious rhetoric and shaving Arthur's head. We get a look at our surroundings, and I'll level with you. Early on for me with Kenshi, I was skeptical on whether this game was truly something special, or just triggering a lot of older RPG nostalgia for players, with its click-to-move system, absence of NPC voice dialogue, and rough around the edges visuals. But if there's something great truly held within, I thought, we'll find it. Starting first by finding a way out of this terrible fate in the prisons of Rebirth, with Skibidi finally coming to. We set about fiddling around with the cage's locks to improve our knowledge of lockpicking. Hours and hours dragged by, and although such knowledge was good—
Wait, and the guards let you do that? Or maybe he's picking the locks during their change of shifts.
Good, it was also vital, as both Arthur and Skibidi were starving to death. A situation—
Yeah, did you see that guy just passed by?
Arthur
this
and
guy—
Skibidi were
they don't even care if they're lockpicking or not.
Starving to death. A situation that they would have no choice but to address that very night, with the pair embarking on the highly dangerous task of sneaking around the mines for some morsels of food. Finding only a single piece for Skibidi, they shuffled back empty-handed and returned to their cages once more to formulate their next move. As the sun began to rise, the lockpicking practice resumed as the two got more and more skilled, but not without a mistake or two. such as Arthur
In
filled with
front?
pride following a successful
Yeah, that guy is literally picking it in front of this guy. Okay, oh Skibbity, in front of the guard.
as the two got more and more skilled, but not without a mistake or two, such as Arthur filled with pride following a successful pick, wandering out of his cage and instantly being pounced on by the guards and whisked away
That's
to
a
another
lot.
cell, splitting him up from his bug-eyed buddy.
No.
Yes, laugh while you can.
After getting accustomed with
What,
Arthur's
they
new
have
cage,
voice
we are sent out to
actors?
work in the mines, getting a further look at the game's skill development. Each character in Kenshi has a wide range of skills to progress and work towards, beginning of course from nothing,
Wow.
making the early game a truly savage environment, skillless and hardly able to defend yourself against the aggressors of the land, which there are many. But we would not need a mastery of the sword for what would come next. As well, Arthur
But I have a bone to pick on the running. Why does it look so heavy but you're still floating? I'm not saying the game is bad. He had to do it like everything single-handedly. Did any one of you play the game? Do they still run like this?
worked away in the baking sun, Skibbity was plotting his revenge on a certain guard he had suffered from the day before. Waiting till the dead of night, he snuck out once again from his cage,
Once
all
again.
the way to one of the guard's quarters. In a keen sleight of hand, he unlocked his bindings, crept up to the sleeping fool, and
Or is-
carefully removed his armor.
Or the running just now is just like editing stuff, slow mode or something.
Instead replacing them with Skibbity's own slave shackles.
If it's that, I'm sorry.
It was a long shot, he thought, but upon completion he snuck back to his cage and eagerly waited until morning, where the violent, now former guard, got quite the wake-up call.
With hard work, blood and sweat, you can still redeem yourself.
Did not do anything wrong.
Hello.
That's a
Fancy
big
seeing you
pickaxe.
here.
I actually thought that he's gonna swing that pickaxe towards the guard.
But revenge was not freedom, so after more working away in the mines and some extracurricular activities, the time was now or never, as Arthur in particular could not go on much longer without food.
No,
In the dead of night
Arthur.
once more, the pair set out with their new, much improved lockpicking skills and began setting loose all of the other captives, one
Wow.
by one, with even some being too paralyzed with fear to move. A small gang of potential
No.
escapees followed our two heroes, heading to the back entrance, and with the sun soon to rise, there was no turning back. And the entire group barreled past the guards in a bid for freedom, hoping that surely they cannot stop them all. The sounds of their fellow inmates being cut down ringing in their ears, and after what felt like an eternity, they were clear of the horrors of rebirth, to quite ironically, begin their own.
The other peoples were just cannon fodder. But seriously, the game's kinda interesting.
Following the road down, the pair came across an abandoned shack, still within throwing distance of their prison. They adopted caution exploring within, and opted to send only Skibbity, as Arthur began to unfortunately pass out with exhaustion and couldn't risk him
Skibbity!
face-planting mid-heist. Oop.
Oh, fuck.
Opening
No,
up the front
Arthur!
door, Skibbity uncovered a treasure trove of food and supplies to get them on their feet. All rather convenient, Skibbity thought, until they found a note left
It's only Skibbity doing the job. He has the blessing of the toilet gut, so the food tastes like toilet water.
on the upper floor, left by what was surely another ex-inhabitant of the Holy Nation's prison. And it was while staring at this note and contemplating the madness of the escape that I imagine
Wow.
could have gone a number of ways that I began to catch a glimpse of what makes Kenshi stand out, and vowed to uncover more. Freedom was finally theirs, and the task now turned to venturing out and establishing themselves in this cutthroat environment that would be especially hard, as at least for now
Wow,
they
it's
would
so
still be
big, the
recognized by
map.
some as escaped slaves. Kenshi uses a character state system to report how each member of a team is presenting to the inhabitants of the world. Putting on a set of armor plucked straight from our trash can helmet-toting former captors, for example, would lead to less informed other citizens assuming they were indeed from that clan. And for now, our state revealed that we would still be identified as escapees if running into the wrong
KPs.
person, so would need to be careful, as trouble hid around every corner of the desert. The decision was made to hightail it out of the land claimed by this oppressive holy nation, and seek sanctuary further south, in the more tolerant colonies. It was a long trip down.
Oh, there are
and after
different
hitting back a
colonies
bit, the
too.
nation breaking into a nearby farm and robbing them blind, we got a further look at some of Kenshi's more immersive features, with Arthur and
It's immersive indeed. It's like you're playing an actual, like, life simulator. Does this have a feature that if you die in game, the character is gone for good, and you need to use Skibidi or make another character. But the question is, if you make a base in this save file, and the character died, you make another character, can you still play the previous save file and get your previous character's base? If you can, that kinda sucks. If you can, that's another story.
Skibidi having conversations around nearby landmarks, fears of being re-imprisoned when passing another Holy Nation settlement, and Arthur pissing off his buddy with his remarks about the hivers when nearing one of Skibidi's former stomping grounds.
The AI before is kinda nice. Imagine they updated it with better AI.
Hey, the hivers may be harmless enough, but don't let that fool you. Those guys are plain sneaky.
Sneaky.
Ouch. That hurts, you know.
Oh, don't overreact. You know I don't mean you. No hive.
No hive?
After another tiring trek across the desert, the pair finally arrived at their new home for the time being, Squin, a town ran by the Shek race, and although not exactly the most
What's a
friendly of
Shek?
bunch to outsiders, at least gives us a chance to develop our skills and maybe even a place to live. Buying a backpack, the two put their time in the
You can
mines to
instantly
good
live
use
there?
by turning their mining skills into a moneymaker for some startup capital. And it was while working away, an imposing figure wandered by, putting the trash can helmet-toting Holy Nation to shame. This was a laundry basket-toting shinobi assassin, striding through the land alone. And with stats like that, one can see why.
Laundry
Which made
basket.
Skibidi think, if they could make it to where they resided, maybe they could join these mysterious shinobi and become just as powerful. The rare shinobi
Oh.
sighting was not all the surrounding area had to offer.
Now you have some ninja stuff. I wonder what is Skibidi. He's not a toilet this time. Oh, he's a hive. And a hive prince. Oh, sheesh.
Surrounding area had to offer, it seems, as we of course had to make sure to keep an eye out for gangs of roaming bandits looking for
There's
easy
bandits
targets
too?
and dash back towards the safety of the hulking town guards.
I kinda
to
love
ensure
this
victory
game.
and to get some combat experience, albeit brief, even when getting absolutely owned. With some funds finally lining our pockets after selling off some collected ore, we added to our party by picking up a pack bull from a gang of local animal traders.
Wow.
Picking up being the key phrase here, with Arthur taking it very
Picking
literally
up.
indeed. The next addition to our party came after checking the local bar for someone to help Arthur with his unfortunate, very slave-like haircut, coming across a Shek mercenary looking to join us, which we just could not refuse, as something about her just
It's
spoke
like
to us.
RuneScape.
The next step would be
Whee!
somewhere to call home while we set the stage to build our own settlement down the line. So turned our eyes to a broken down property in Squin, with the mind to fix it up ourselves, and with another member of the team sped things up nicely, with another hand on deck to gather materials to sell. However, the bandit threat remained to slow the team down now and again, causing some rather gruesome flaily injuries, including a bandit that I have to take my hat off to, even with two broken arms still flailing around in the background, surely just for moral support at this point. And
Moral
Arthur with his
support.
shaved head and beard combo looking like a scuffed
No,
Andy
he's
Tate.
he has his hand broke. I posted a very nice moment, bro. What the heck? Andy Tate.
Oh, Andrew, stop it. Stop it, Andrew. Andrew. Not
Andrew.
before long, we had purchased our first home and began the rebuild. And
This game has everything from survival to everything. But wait, is this guy playing MMORPG or is it only a single player?
with it the construction of a research bench to unlock further technologies. Kenshi has a well-fleshed-out research and crafting system that begins at small-scale internal fixtures, such as training dummies to learn skills, or building chests and
Wow.
boxes for storage, and expands out to crafting entire player-constructed buildings and settlements, which, as you can imagine, takes a fair amount of
Settlements.
materials and time to progress, which is where the game's ability to speed up time comes in handy, shown here with our newest member zooming across the land, living up to her namesake,
Whee!
travelling to another settlement for building materials, or Skibidi here honing his combat
Like
skills on
we
a training
as
dummy,
in
getting a much
taking a
needed boost
pee.
in time taken. Not before long, we had a
Taking a
tier
wee.
2 research bench, leveled up strength carrying around a whole bunch of iron mined from nearby, and made some
Because
comfy beds
Skibidi's
to
a
finally
toilet.
enjoy a good night's sleep. But Skibidi lay awake, still with something on his mind. Either that or he just sleeps like that, which would be cursed. He lay awake thinking of the shinobi, and the possibilities they could hold for them all.
We must track them down.
He thought.
They hold the key to growing stronger.
With the morning came
Stronger.
Skibidi's
Skibidi has
pitch to the others, and
ideals.
the decision was made to trek across the desert once more, to locate the mysterious shinobi clan. With the group gathering their things and wasting no time, this new adventure would of course come with it a whole range of new dangers, coming across a colourful new land and getting chased by a group of bandits deep within it, just to be awkwardly saved by Skibbidy's former tribesmen, and on the way out getting introduced to one of the game's most formidable and hilariously named foes.
I mean, what is he doing? What even is that? I can't think of it. What is it? It's just some sort of...
Big thing! Ah, bloody hell!
What's
Taking
that?
another chance to snap back at the Holy Nation,
Bigfoot.
ransacking another one of its properties, and after being chased, bitten, beaten and broken, ultimately arriving at the Great Desert, and with it soon after the settlement of Heft, the home of the Shinobi clan. With the other two exhausted from the journey, Arthur alone made his way to the clan's headquarters, and after paying for his acceptance into their ranks, made his way to their advanced training room, and began truly honing his skills, as he too had not forgotten that there was still a serious score to settle. If it wasn't clear already,
Time to change the ambition. I'm gonna be the strongest shinobi ever. From slave to the boss of the shinobis. That's a good revenge story.
Kenshi does not need to have the sharpest visuals or the most cutting edge of gameplay mechanics. What Chris Hunt has done with this project is create a single-player open-world RPG sandbox that not only overflows with character and immersive elements, but
So
one
it's
that
all
constantly
AI?
and dynamically sets
Holy.
the stage for an endless number of stories for the player to craft and experience. There is just so much to this game, far too much
It's
to
a
get into one
genius.
video alone. Small touches such as when we were escaping the prison, one of the freed prisoners thanking us and asking to join our group, not to mention getting away with swapping out the guard's gear and getting him locked up with the other slaves. The
They're
player's
all
chosen
AI.
race having a legitimate and realistic feeling impact on the experience, from how passers-by speak to you to getting access and favor with certain tribes and clans. I even, while
Wow.
cheekily attempting to use the Holy Nation outposts, got stopped by them and was grilled for having non-humans in my party, but was able to lie about them being my assistants and slaves to get them off my back. The integration of the various factions and their beliefs and politics, all mixed into this incredibly harsh and overwhelmingly rewarding feeling experience, makes Kenshi on first glance look like a relic of the past, but after experiencing it for myself, spiraled into one of the best RPG experiences I've had in years, with a level of
Wow.
freedom and immersion that AAA developers can only dream of, embodying that feeling
True.
of wandering off into the distance, only speculating on what might unfold. The game
But there's also gonna be people that's gonna say, these kinds of games try to be everything but instead doesn't excel in anything. But in my opinion, I like this kind of games. You can be whatever you want.
game's music and tone striking a feeling of hopelessness, yet adventure.
Wow, he made it everything. He made everything, bro.
There is so much to this game that I feel like I'm only scratching the surface, and if you would like to see more of Arthur and
They all look
Skibbidy's
so
journeys,
funny.
as we uncover more of this incredible title, and maybe even settle some scores with the Holy Nation, let me know by dropping a like on the video, and of course your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't tried Kenshi, don't be put off by first glances, as this game more than justifiably sits at an overwhelmingly positive score, following the work of a single man that through hard work and dedication pulled off what a lot would have thought impossible.
Wow.
Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm keen to get your thoughts down in the comments.
It's gonna be like a lot of white land, white empty fields and stuff. The sky's the limit. If this one guy can make such an amazing game, what are you doing, bigger companies? So what are your thoughts on this game? Do let me know in the comments. I will see you next time.